Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Long Island Hustle. With me tonight is the legendary, remarkable Joey
Wow, thank you
Petroni.
so much, man. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's nice to have you. You've been around for a very long
A
time.
very, very long time. Yes, I been doing comedy professionally since 2000.
2000. Wow, that's I'm going to jump right into it because we have a lot to discuss today with Joey. I've done a little bit of research, had some help from some friends, and if you could throw that picture up, actually, I have you on the Double D show in 1991.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's you and
Yeah.
a young Benny Rizzuti.
Yep. That was 98,
Yeah.
97, 98.
Might have been. I was told 91, but
Wow.
these old people, when they give me things, they can be a
Yeah.
little delirious. And then there was another picture from the Double D show
Yep.
of everybody there, and that's you on the right?
That's me on the right. Yeah.
Wow. Now that is a transition.
That's a transition. Well, it's not a transition. That was the transition because I was always who you see today
Okay.
until I had a. Should I tell you?
Tell me.
I had to go to court, so I had to clean up a little bit for a couple of years.
Oh, for court.
So nothing big, but I just I had to change my appearance for looking more like I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. That is a sad world we're living
That
in,
was-
that you had to change your appearance.
That was my lawyer's
suggestion.
There you go.
Yeah, because Joey Petroni, you're a rocker.
I've
look
always
at
been a
you.
rocker. There was a certain time, and a hockey player. I played ice hockey my entire life.
Oh,
Those two
okay.
things go together. I don't even know. Heavy metal and ice hockey.
I mean, what goes together better?
The New York Islanders and Metallica.
Islanders, huh?
Yeah.
Well, did you watch sports recently? The Knicks actually had a win. And are you a basketball fan?
I'm a basketball fan. Yeah, they're playing tonight, I believe.
They are playing tonight. I am not a basketball fan, but they did win when I watched them, so I think I'm going to watch them tonight.
What I'll say about sports is every sport is awesome during the playoffs and the championships.
It's exciting, right?
Every one of them. I mean, tennis is boring all year round, but you watch a tennis championship match, it's awesome.
It's exciting until my husband gets the barbell.
All right.
And then he's like, how did this? And I was just like, we were shots and
Yeah.
and then I had to do shots because the last time I did a shot, there was like, the last part of the game started really rolling and I had to keep the buzz going.
You got to do the Petroni style, man. You got to go watch games and you got to bring a little bottle in here.
Is that the
And-
Petroni style bootlegging?
Bootlegging.
Bootlegging at the bar?
I just don't get caught.
Well, of course.
I got security on my ass all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, we went, where did we go? Venetian Shores? We saw a band play on Saturday.
Isn't Venetian Shores like an open venue though?
No, but there's an area where the restaurant is.
Yeah.
And you can't bring, I don't think you can bring drinks in there from outside.
But like what, you just like hop on the beach?
You go on the beach and watch them, but we got something to eat. So
Oh, I got you.
long story short, passing drinks through the
Don't
fence.
they know who you are?
They do.
You're like, this is Joey Petroni. What are you
Right.
doing? You out of your
Right.
mind?
Right. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. The security got on my ass, man. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? They're always all over you.
And he didn't take the blame. He said my boss told me.
Because
Unfortunately,
he didn't want to seem uncool to
right,
you.
right. He wanted to be cool with me.
Yeah, he was like, listen,
Unfortunately, my
man.
boss, and there's cameras everywhere, and if I let you come in and pass it through the fence, I got to do it to everybody.
So you got to be a little more slick with it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm glad that, it's still a good piece of advice. You can always, get tuned up before you go.
Yep.
Just don't drink and drive, as we always say.
Right.
Speaking of drinking, I did want to mention our sponsor. We're always sponsored by Sip and Say on Merrick Road in Merrick. Don't worry, there's no clip for it. I see the producer going crazy. Just remember, if you use the LI Hustle, if you go online to sipsay.com, you get 15% off your entire order.
Wow.
Or you can walk into the store and mention the LI Hustle, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. They have great cans for summer, booze. It's a sommelier store. Say hi to Adam for me. And so wanted to throw that out there if you want a pregame.
Sip and say.
Yeah, Sip and
Nice.
Say. It's a boutique. My friend Adam's a sommelier, so he picks everything out.
Right.
And it's a dope place. Of course I would be sponsored by a liquor store. I mean, who else is going to sponsor me at this point? But so recently you and I were together, and I actually went back and took a look at it. I've been on your radio show 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a great guest.
I think I
You're a
might
great
be one of the most people you've had on your radio shows.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because you always support all of my charity endeavors.
I'll do anything for charity. I'll do anything for physically handicapped or
Now, why
anything.
is that? What's your connection? Because I know you have a BOCES connection, right?
I work for BOCES and for 30 years with physically disabled,
Mhm.
which is now getting into a lot of autism kids coming into the school. But I don't know. I guess the only thing I can think of is my next door neighbor when I was growing up was, I guess she had like a stroke or something. And her mom used to walk past the house all the time and we all had to be nice to her and stuff like that. I think that I kind of grew up that way,
Yeah.
around it, and we included her in everything we did and stuff like that. So I think it just grew on me.
I agree. I mean, I grew up in an integrated high school and we would hang out with the kids there and like we were kind of bad kids. So we'd be like smoking a blunt and they'd be like the lookout.
Right.
And like this one girl really laid it on thick when someone came to. It was great. She would get super extra because she had cerebral palsy. And then
Right.
when she saw someone come, she was like the best lookout. She would be like, like really like just she was doing us a solid.
Right,
I was
right,
like,
right.
thank you so much. I won't mention her name, but she's doing really well right now. So
Nice.
good for her. As you know, my daughter is autistic.
Right. Yep.
Which is why I do all the charity events and stuff. because
Christmas
it's-
event. Right.
I do Christmas events, Halloween events, all that fun stuff. But enough about me. So in 1990-ish, in the 90s, you were doing the Double D show with my buddy Don Sill.
Don Sill.
And now you're doing something else with Don Sill
Don,
and Tony
yeah.
Walker.
And Tony Walker. It's funny how in 1990, I keep saying 7, but it was 98. Don Sill was on the radio show, and then he moved to Carolina for a while.
Hmm. Oh, I know all about Don
Oh,
Sill
you know,
lore.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am the Don Sill fact finder. Yes.
Yeah, and he came back, and now we're like full steam straight ahead. We went from doing like radio shows to now we're doing like movies and stuff.
The first movie was great.
Comic Sans.
Comic Sans was amazing. I was fortunate enough to be at the premiere.
I love it.
So much fun. And you are one of a trio
Yes.
in that movie,
Yep.
which I gave him more credit than I think he deserved because I'm like, oh, is that a nod to the Three Stooges? Like, and he was like, sure. But it's you, it's who are the other two?
It's who are you
Jeff
gonna throw me off
Bosey?
that? Jeff Bosey, and Sherry.
And Sherry
Sherry's-
Poland?
Sherry Poland.
Yes. And you guys are like the three
We
kind of
work-
comic relief, also help direct the scenes.
Right. We work at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And and it's funny because we play off each other really well. It's a great cast of characters.
It looks like so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And Tony's the man.
Tony Walker's awesome. Tony
Yeah.
Walker is he plays a straight guy, right? He's always on my ass, But yeah, Tony's a great actor and a great guy, a great friend. And he does Gov's radio podcast every morning.
Which you also do Gov's Radio podcast, right?
I do. Good times, bad times.
And how long have you been doing that?
That started around COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was on Don's show a lot. I was Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up
Mhm.
on Gov's radio podcast. But I had started my own show during COVID because the show I was doing on on FM radio was kind of shut down because of COVID. They
Mhm.
shut the whole studio down. And now I
Yeah.
do both.
I think we actually have a clip of you at Gov's Radio.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Ah,
Do-
cool. Gov's
see.
radio podcast, Good Times, Bad Times. This is Joey Petroni.
No, not that picture. That's for later. This is actually a multimedia, Lorenzo.
Oh, okay.
See if no.
You got a couple, they want to dance to a slow song. What would be your go-to slow song to get the dance floor going?
They
50
call-
years old or so.
They call me the godfather of old school.
Okay.
I am old school.
All right.
My go-to slow dance song is Unchained Melody.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a great song.
You gotta
Great
do
song.
it.
Awesome song.
You gotta do it.
Yep.
Then after that, I might do a little Leanne Rhymes. I even might throw a little Engelbert Humperdinck in there.
Okay.
You know that one, Tony. So I sing you to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, sing
Yeah.
it. Keep going.
No.
Why
got
not?
You got a good
You
voice.
sound good.
Tony, sing it.
Come on.
Yeah. So that's it. But you know what? I do a rose dance.
Okay.
You know what that is?
Yes.
You
You
do.
did it at the wedding, I think.
Right.
Yes.
And they work great. So if you just got married to 5 years, come up 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and then we keep going until we get the oldest couple on the dance floor, and we hand them a rose. We make a
Nice.
circle, and that's good for pitches. We get everybody up because all the couples are up,
Everybody
and it's
gets
a nice,
involved.
beautiful thing.
Right.
And if they're paying me a lot of money, we'll give them a bottle of champagne,
Nice.
depending.
Right.
What kind of
You know?
champagne?
I don't know, $15 bottle.
Brute?
It's the champagne. You're worried about how much it costs?
That's
They
just
get
for one
it for nothing.
It depends on what he's getting paid, man. You know?
Right away, you're worried about how much everything costs. No matter where I go with this guy, how much it cost? Where'd you get that jacket? How much did you pay for it? Where'd you get those
Well,
sneakers?
what
How
I
much?
don't know how much it is.
Leave it alone.
So I really like this clip because you're talking to other DJs.
Right. Vinny Dice. He's a superstar.
Is he?
Oh yeah, Vinny Dice is the guy.
Is he? I think you're the guy. I don't know who Vinny Dice is.
Vinny Dice is a Long Island DJ. He always gets voted best DJ on Long Island.
Oh, we know that that's
I always knew he was great, and I always heard great things about Vinny. And then I finally got a chance to work with him.
uh-huh.
And I was DJing, and he was the MC. And I was just like, holy crap, man.
Like he had
It's
the crowd in his
how
hands.
it was just insane. It was insane. It was as a DJ, it was like I was in awe, the whole time. I was stuttering, when he came over to talk to me, I was like, I was like, I didn't want to mess up because he was kicking ass. So, he's such a great, he's a great guy too, behind the scenes. Really,
Aw.
really nice guy.
So I think that's great that not only you're a DJ, but you promote other DJs on your
Yep.
podcast.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And you're still doing the podcast at Govs, right? Good
I
times,
still,
bad times?
yes, I do it. I try to do it once or twice a month. With summer coming, probably twice a month again.
Oh, nice.
I get so busy with everything else.
Tell me about it. Yeah, it has been a crazy couple of weeks.
It's been crazy, and my youngest is graduating. I have 3 kids, so my youngest is graduating Massapequa High School. So
Yeah.
for me, and I'm not legally responsible for anybody. She's 18.
You're still dad. You're still dad. Dad's still responsible. You're still getting the phone call.
I'm still dad. Yeah, I'm still the guy who's got to fix everything. You know what? I don't want to make decisions anymore. You ever get to that point?
Constantly.
I don't want to be responsible for things like, should we take the tree down or leave it up? And then the tree comes down, everybody's crying that the tree's down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to make decisions. You guys decide. Should we get a boat? Should we not get a boat?
I don't know.
I just don't want to make any. Should we put the shed over here? If you want it there, we'll put it there.
Yeah.
But once it's there, I'm not going to spend a whole weekend moving the shed, and then you want to put it back where it was.
And don't hem and haw about it. Like once you make a decision, we're done.
Right.
Like
I don't want to be responsible for decisions
I agree with you. I think
at all,
I absolutely agree.
because everybody's old enough to make their own decisions. Don't
And-
ask me.
And you also have a child in college, right?
He just graduated. Well, no, I have 2 in college.
2 in college.
A
A first year and a graduate?
Yeah, well, one's going to be working for the Long Island Railroad. He just got as a
Ooh.
signalman.
That's amazing.
That's my son. He went through 2 years of Nassau, and then he went to trade school to be an electrician. And he applied for the Long Island Railroad, and he passed everything. And he
Thank
starts.
God. You always see those memes online like,
Yeah.
please stop trying to be a rapper. We need electricians.
Oh yeah, he loves trains, so it's right up his alley.
Excellent.
And then my daughter's going to school in Tampa. She's in college in her 2nd year in Tampa, and she's going to be early education teacher.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And my youngest is looking to be something in that field, like maybe a speech therapist, occupational therapist, something like that.
That's a really good field to be in. I have a friend who is in speech and it's in such high demand right now.
Mhm.
So, even though Joey looks like this, obviously something, you can't judge a book by its cover, can you?
And they do.
And they do.
And they do.
So, there is something I wanted to broach.
Yeah.
Because for me, generationally, I got into comedy and started actually doing it on stage at Govs and other places about 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's been
5 years.
only 5 years. Yeah. But
You
like
got
also-
confidence. That's what you got.
Oh,
A lot of
thanks.
confidence.
A lot of swag. But I was very fortunate because I was brought in. My friend Benny
Mhm.
took a liking to me, took a shine, and then he introduced me to Don.
Don Sill.
So then that whole crew, I got acclimated, which is a blessing because not many newbies get that opportunity to meet people who have been on for so long.
Right.
And with that, you get all the lore and everything. So you guys are like the generations before me
Mhm.
and been working for years, and now Comic Sans is coming out. So it's really exciting for me to see
That's fun.
and know everything. But the lore that I've heard is that Joey Petroni is actually a character
As
and that your name's Bob.
well, yeah. I had to make up a character's name. I was doing a lot of. What I
Now, was
doing?
this because of the legal thing?
No. Yeah, I'm on the run, man.
Yeah, right.
Don't tell nobody. No, it was just basically I was doing a lot of reality TV back in the day, and I really couldn't have the world's mix
Okay. And we
'Cause-
do actually have a shot of you when you were on the Food Network for the
Right.
3rd season, if we want to pull that up. And you were on what's her name's team,
Ann Burrell.
Ann Burrell. And
Yeah,
you
she's-
still look very much like Joey Petroni.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am Joey Petroni.
You are, Joey. You're like, that's who I am.
It's just a name. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Where did that name come from?
Joey Petroni, just, I don't even know. Just, I called myself Joey on all these TV shows and I needed a last name. So I just went through the letters of the alphabet and
Like the Zodiac Killer?
just went through it with a friend of mine, a woman from work, and we just picked Petroni. I don't know.
Because it's, are you Italian?
I am. My mom's Italian, so my mom is, and my dad's German and Irish.
Oh, okay. So Joey Petroni is known as, a comedian. And
Right.
if you try to Google your real name, which I won't give, it actually says see Joey Petroni. Did
Oh,
you
really?
know that? On
No.
ChatGPT. Yeah, it mentions Food Network and then it says see Joey Petroni.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
if
funny.
you wanted to find out. So I just thought that was really interesting because like I said, as a new comedian 5 years ago, I was introduced to you as Joey Petroni.
Right.
And then one night you and I happened to bump into each other at the
Mhm.
warehouse and you're with your wife
Right.
who just spilled all the beans.
Yeah.
She's, by the way, super hot wife. Like,
Hot?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's-
Your
she's-
wife's very good looking.
Thank you.
And she'd also told that sweet story of when you guys met and you had to put a seat in the car.
I was a DJ and I had what was that? A Honda Prelude. And I had to put all my DJ equipment in there on the weekends and I took out the passenger seat. And then I met her one night after DJing and she had to sit in the back seat because I didn't have a passenger seat.
Was she like, yeah, okay, I'll sit in the back seat?
Yeah.
Like, I would have thought it was a gimmick.
Yeah, my life's always been crazy, and that every part of us meeting was crazy, and to this day, it's pretty crazy.
But in a good way, like a hurricane of
It's
joy.
entertaining. It's very entertaining. Our life is very, very entertaining. It's fun. We have a good time.
And your dad also.
My dad, he's 82. We just rode.
God bless him. I just saw him not too long ago, like maybe a couple of months ago with you.
Right. He's 82, and we just rode bikes yesterday from Massapequa, like this area right here, to Bethpage State Park.
Oh my God. I know
He
recently.
can't sit still.
Well, recently you were saying you didn't want him to keep your bike at his house.
Well, I just didn't want him to go out,
Who's
without-
this old man on this
You
bike?
know, we know what's funny is like you want to make sure your kid wears a helmet. I want to make sure my dad wears a helmet. It's
if
like
my dad goes out, I'd be like, you need to put the knee braces on.
Right.
I'm just kidding. My dad also loves to ride bikes.
well, his bike also switches. If you get tired, you can flick a switch and it goes to electric.
Sick.
So if he's 82, if he gets tired going up a hill or something, he flicks a switch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That actually that sounds like a great Father's Day gift for my dad. Is that an add-on or is that like how the bike is made?
It's a hybrid, I guess. No, it's an
It's a
electric.
hybrid bike.
Yeah, it's
I
like
love it.
electric and it's a regular bike. So you could like say for you ride your bike down to Tobay and then the wind's hitting coming back. You just flick a switch and you don't have to pedal.
I'm just gonna Uber back.
Yep.
I'm gonna ditch the bike.
My dad's a lot of fun though. We take him on vacations with us and everything like that. He's a good guy. He's single right now. So if there's any women out there,
Ooh.
he's very funny. He's got his own apartment. He's
You
got
know,
his own car.
actually, in there are studies that in old folks' home, one of the biggest issues they have is STD transmissions.
What?
STD.
Oh, I heard about
transmissions.
that.
Yeah, because all the old folks, like, what do they give a shit? They're like, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
One night he's with Abigail, the next night he's
Right.
with Gertrude. Like,
Right.
who cares?
That's funny.
They're all slamming each other. But I'm glad they're having a good time. Maybe your dad should. There's a community center in Merrick.
He had a girlfriend recently, and they broke up about a year ago, and now he's just kind of enjoying himself.
The bachelor life.
The bachelor life
You gotta love it.
comes and goes as he pleases.
One day, maybe. I don't think my generation's gonna retire, but
Right.
maybe one day. I'm thinking probably like not retire, but maybe like stop working every day. Like
It's
maybe
going to get
type
to
of
that
thing.
point. Maybe a 3-day work week or a 4-day work week or something like that.
One day. Well, you work full time,
Right.
and then you also DJ,
Exactly.
and then you have the 2 podcasts.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
And I have to open the pool, and I have to,
And didn't you also used to have a
Power wash the
landscaping
house.
situation?
I did. Yeah.
So you're like a man of the Renaissance man, the jack of all trades.
There's nothing you can't do. Will it be done the right way? I don't know.
There's nothing I can't do, but can I do it well?
I don't know if I do it right or not, but it's done my way.
That's what they say, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep.
Well, I have to say that you definitely are the master of radio shows.
Thank you.
And we actually have a picture from WGBB Radio with Dave Dramont. where we had Dave on from Dave Jamont Loves You.
Dave is awesome.
Dave is so awesome. And that was such a fun time that we had.
Right.
And we actually all met each other at the warehouse together, and I pushed Dave on you. I was like,
Yeah,
you have
you-
to meet Dave.
Yeah, and he what a talented musician.
Yeah.
Punk rock, and man, I couldn't believe it. You wouldn't know it when you meet the guy. You're like, wow, this guy's been around.
He's been around
Yeah.
forever. He's actually, I had to give him a break because I kept throwing him at everybody, but I was also there, and I'm like, we need a break from
You're a
each
good
other.
promoter, you know.
You know what it is? I really believe in people.
Right.
And I only want to have people on and be surrounded by people who I think are creative and I
Mhm.
think are good intentioned.
Good intentions.
So that's
the
why,
key. Good intentions.
Exactly. And I'm always like if someone has an idea, like you saw when we first walked in, there were two comedians here, Kristen and Kathy.
Yep.
And they're starting their own podcast, and I just start spitballing with them. Okay, what are we gonna do? Let's do this. Let's type it into the internet. Let's see what's going on. And just to have that like inertia feeling. I love that like feeling of doing things and being creative with people.
Right. Oh,
And I think you do that really well.
thank you.
So what would be your what's the favorite interview that you've ever had? Like one that you look back on and you're like, this was a really good interview.
I think I don't have any that were bad, so I'd have to say like, they're all good. And then I guess my favorite, I really like John Blenn. I like him as a person, and I like hearing
Shout out to John and his wife Tracy.
his wife Tracy, right?
Yes, Joni.
Joni.
His wife Joni.
Yeah, with the camera.
Yes, with the camera. Joni does the pictures,
Yep.
and she also does it for like the libraries and stuff.
Hmm.
And John does pictures. He was also a professor.
Right.
So John comes up quite a bit, and he actually knows Dave Jamont too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because he worked for Good Times magazine.
Yeah,
Right.
so they know each other. So it is really this like small world that we're in. So
It's all
why John
It's all
Glenn?
connected. I just feel like age wise, we're probably close in age. I just feel like he went through the same time era as I did in the entertainment world, and I just feel like everything he talked about, I could relate to.
Really?
It was very relatable to me.
See, I think that's why I have such a different outlook, because I do tend to hang out and be around people that I admire, which sometimes are people who are older in age.
Right.
And I never really look at it that way,
Right.
which has always been probably an issue. But now that I'm much older, it's no longer an issue. But maybe when I was 16, it was an issue. But now that I'm 37, so that's why I think it's so important to me to be around, what I think is legacy and legends. You, Dave Jamont, Don Sill. I had a newer last show. We had a newer face, Travis Grant, who's been in movies and stuff. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
was fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's just like a mix of creatives.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm looking for. It's everybody hustling on Long Island to, to show their craft.
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
I don't think you could stop me if you tried.
I like I think one of the best things was get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm.
You ever hear that term? It's a lot easier to stay home. Like, I'm just going to
Yeah.
stay home tonight and watch the hockey game. I'm just going
Mhm.
to chill out. But you got to be uncomfortable to find out what's going on out there and what you can get involved in and
To grow.
to grow and be involved,
Joey Petroni, like you could probably, the way you look, might make people uncomfortable. Does that give you an edge, you think?
I don't know. You want to talk about appearance? I can tell you a funny story
Tell
with the
me.
doc. Okay. So I was having like heart palpitations all of a sudden for some reason. And it was happening for like since December 14th, to be honest with you, because I know from DJing. It happened during a DJing event, and it was weird, man. I felt like I was going to pass out, and I had my wife come down and hang out while I was DJing, just in case anything happened, she could take over. A long story
Not
short,
that she could take you to the hospital, that she could take over. You're like, just let me die, but finish the
yeah, I
set.
don't matter. You
Yeah.
can't leave a bunch of kids dancing, But so a long story short, it happened like once or twice, and it was like kind of scary. So a long story short, I went to the doctor, and what do you think the doctor thinks when they sees you?
That you're smoking crack?
Yeah, how much do you drink? I don't really drink. You smoke pot? No. You smoke? No. Every question he has, like,
He's like, but
right,
but you're you.
right. So she gave me medicine for anxiety, for vertigo, maybe an infection in my right ear, like 5 different medications.
And some Narcan.
Right, 5 different medications. And I wound up figuring out what was doing it on my own.
What was it?
And it's the funniest part, the biggest twist of the story. You don't know.
I don't know.
I was drinking I was drinking protein drinks, and I was drinking like maybe 2 a day, and I was putting in
You were too hyped.
yeah, it was
Too
just
much protein.
and then at night I was drinking. This is kind of silly from Joey Petroni.
Joey Petroni, it's not like, oh, I
Someone
stopped smoking crack. It's like it's
Yeah.
the protein drinks.
No, I was drinking like all those juices you see at Whole Foods, like apple juice, 100%, whatever. I was drinking that instead
You
of
were
water.
too healthy.
I had too much sugar in my body,
Ah.
and my heart was racing from like sugar overdose.
They didn't take your sugars? I guess they wouldn't. They would think something.
It was only happening during those times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so instead of drinking Gatorade, I thought it'd be good to drink like beet juice. Read the label.
I would think it couldn't hurt, right?
Read the label on beet juice. It's all sugar.
Mm.
So anyway,
That's why I don't do vegetables because they're sneaky.
so the twist
Obviously.
is that you think I walk in, say I'm passing out, and they're like, "Oh, you do drugs, you do this, you do this." No, it was actually beet juice. Who would ever think it was beet juice and protein powder?
F you, Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Like what you did to Joey.
yeah. Well, I did too much. Everything I do is too much.
I get that's a common theme that I have with creatives is like living in excess or like go big or go home.
Right. I thought, hey, if a protein shake's good for you, I'll have 3.
Well, I did something similar with cranberry juice.
Okay.
This was a long time ago and I had to pass a certain test. They say drinking cranberry juice helps clean your system.
Right.
But apparently if you drink too much of it, you will get like red rashes all over you.
Oh, really?
And you will like turn into, it was like kind of like a Violet Beauregard situation
Okay.
from like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
Like, Violet, you're turning violet. It was like, Jen, you're fucking red. You're really red.
Wow.
And it was all over. And then it like gave me, it mimicked syphilis. It gave me like gray spots on my
Oh.
hands and feet.
Really?
So of course my parents have like those encyclopedias. I don't know where they are now, but from back in the day with
Right.
like common ailments. And I looked at it and I'm like, this says I have syphilis.
Wow.
But no, it was cranberry juice. And that's why you shouldn't use WebMD or encyclopedias like that and go see
Right.
a doctor. Because I was like, how do I have syphilis? This doesn't make any sense. And then I started going down that rabbit hole. But yeah, too much consumption of anything
Yeah.
apparently is
Yeah.
bad for you.
Yeah.
But what would we know about moderation?
You just think that nature's best, and that's what I was doing. So now I'm back to drinking beer.
Thank God. Thank God.
And I feel great.
Feels wonderful. He was doing a porch pounder before he got on here.
Yeah.
So you have this great radio show. What got you involved in the radio? Because I know you were on the Double D show in the 90s with Don. Was that something that you guys collaborated on, or were you just a guest in that? And
I was a guest on his show a few times, and it was great. I always loved radio. I always loved BAB growing up, calling in Bob Buckman, the prank morning. He used to do prank phone calls in the morning prank call of the day or something like that, Bob Buckman. And I felt like through radio, you can get some of your comedy out. And I have a mind of comedy that doesn't stop.
really?
It doesn't stop. Yeah, it's like everything's a joke. It drives my wife nuts. You can't be serious at any time. I don't mean to. It's probably a sickness.
It's probably a mental health thing.
There's comedy and everything, and I feel like when I went to work, I would do my jokes, and if people get a little annoyed with you because you're telling jokes to people that don't want to hear jokes, and like you're using them as a comedy guinea pig.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want to see if the joke works, but they don't want to hear a joke.
Yeah, and it might not be the right venue or the right time.
Right.
You're at someone's funeral, like not funny.
Right. I mean,
Not funny.
even
but it is funny.
your nephew's birthday party, his 10th birthday party. I'm doing comedy on all the family members that are there. And some laugh and some are like, he's nuts. And, so radio, I feel like radio was a great way to get my jokes out there or get my thoughts out there. And, because my thoughts aren't normal.
No.
Right. So it's a way to get it out there and see what's funny and what's not funny. And the guests are great. I mean, I got great guests coming in and you meet great people, and I love it. I look forward to it every week.
So this is a weekly radio show and WGBB?
95.9 FM, WGBB radio, and it's also on the internet.
Which everyone can always find on the internet. That's always the good one. But so after looking at your life and your legacy and talking about your family
Yep.
and our common threads with everyone, which is leading a life of excess, beet juice and that. If there was one thing you could look back on and change or do more of, what would it be?
Well, in my entertainment side or my personal side?
I'm going to let you roll the dice on that. Because I think they're intertwined. Because like you said, you don't stop being funny,
Right.
you know?
I don't know. I really, I hate to say that I'm satisfied with everything, but I don't really think there's much I would change. I mean, not to sound like an asshole.
No, you don't.
Um,
It was an open-ended question. There's no right answers.
there's a lot of stuff that I've learned that from doing stupid things, that if I didn't do the stupid thing, I wouldn't have learned it. I wish I didn't trust some people and like family members that I trusted, and the most bizarre stuff happened to me in the last 5 years.
You loan money out? Never loan money out.
No, just bizarre stuff happened with family members I'm not going to even talk about.
Mhm.
But I didn't see it coming. So I think if I wanted to have, I'd want to have an eyesight on a better, I guess you can't see what's going to happen in the future. So if I wanted
Was
anything,
there
I could
any
change.
like
like-
there was no trails that you look back now and you're like,
no,
oh,
no, I didn't see.
it
I didn't
coming."
see it coming. I went.
That's Nancy waving in the window.
I didn't see it coming. I went to Florida and came back and got my. Can I say ass?
Yeah.
Got my ass kicked, and it hasn't changed since. But it's all good. I'm fine. My family's fine. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess if I had looked back, I wish I would have seen that stuff coming
Been ready for it.
and been ready for
So
it.
you could have reacted.
I'm too trusting and too, whatever.
I have that problem too, but I always think, and it's a weird transitions is what we've been talking about this
Right.
whole time. But, having my own family, my daughter's 6, is really, that's what matters, is the inside family.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing.
I mean, you can care about other people. You can be empathetic. I built a friend family that I can trust 100%.
Right.
And I wouldn't have had that opportunity had my exterior family not fallen apart, you know?
Yeah.
So like my friend Claire, she shows up to like everything.
Mhm.
If you're ever at any of my shows, I have like at least 5 people deep that just show up to be silly.
Right.
So and Claire's the godmother of my child.
Oh, that's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is
High school
no-
friends?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have high school friends. I have elementary school friends that we're still hanging on together. And I'm still blessed to be able to make friends now that get very close. And, like just recently, like 2 years ago, one of my best friends is my waxist.
Is what?
My waxist.
Really?
You know what? It's a rule, I think, that since she's seen my butthole, she has to be my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like either you have to be my friend or like intimate with me. Like that's not like a free service. Like I don't just share that with anyone.
I was good friends with my barber, but I haven't seen him in 15 years.
Did he see your butthole?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was gonna be like, that's some haircut. Yeah.
No. I don't think anybody. I mean, I haven't even seen my butthole. I mean,
I haven't either. That's
I'm
why
not
if,
into that.
someone else has seen it,
Then, yeah, right.
we have to remain in cahoots.
right, because she knows that stuff.
Yeah, that's like a secret I don't even know about
Right.
myself.
Right.
Moving on.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty funny that you're
We
friends
got
with you. So you're good friends with your wax?
Yeah, she's
Do you hang out without
yeah.
going to see get? Yeah.
Yeah, she
Okay.
comes to my house. She's Aunt Gigi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she like loves my daughter. My daughter loves her. She actually came over with one of these huge metal structures that you're supposed to climb, and it
Right.
was like an industrial thing. Like it was for like an industrial plaything, and she bought it online somehow, and it was all these bars that had all these things, and you needed like wrenches. And she comes over and like literally, she's like 5'4". She's a little thing, and she's like, "I'm gonna put this together." And she starts in the backyard, and I'm outside, hungover. I'm like, "Yeah, good luck." And then she just comes to my house. She goes, "Call your father." I'm like, "No, he's old now. He's not gonna be able to
Oh,
help."
she
And she's
wanted
like,
help?
"Call your dad." And of course, my dad Ron comes through. He's like, "I'll do the best." He was like directing us,
Yeah, yeah.
making sure things were tight. Now I'm involved. But yeah, it's really nice that without having that collapse that I had of my exterior family, I wouldn't have this really close interior family
Right.
that I got to choose.
Right. And I think interior family, not to be mean or anything, but all my friends that I have now, I don't think anybody can hurt you like your real family.
Mm.
And once your real family destroys you, nothing can compare to that. So I'm saying, like, so like all the friends I have now, they're friends, and nobody could,
You're like,
nobody,
"You can't hurt
nobody
me."
could, nobody anywhere
You're
could
like,
destroy me.
I'm impenetrable.
No,
You
I
can't
mean-
hurt me. But at the same time, because again, I lost that whole outside of my family that I had. I hope, and I don't know if this is for everyone, but forgive them, and don't let people live rent free in your head.
Right. No,
You
I
know.
don't think about it at all.
I try not to,
But-
because I always try to think that I'm a valuable person. My friends are valuable. You're valuable, and if anyone wants to be in my thoughts, then they're there for a reason.
Right.
I don't want to let anyone be in there for free.
Right.
You know.
Yep. It's not worth your time and energy, man.
No,
That's
man,
it.
let it go. Let
Let
it
it go.
go. That's what yeah, my parents got into when they went away this weekend.
Oh, yeah? Where'd
this
they
is a great
go?
story. New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And they got into a physical altercation with the store owner who followed them. It's like wacky lady. And now my mom's upset, like still upset about it 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
And the point is, I'm just like, I know you're upset. I know you want to vent, but let it go.
Let it go.
Like let it go. Cause don't let past issues ruin your future days.
Right. Right.
You know, because there's so much fun we have out there to do.
Well, I think, growing up in that situation, that's a lot of comedians come from that kind of background. Of,
Oh,
you
we're
know,
all traumatized.
right.
Yeah.
Traumatized. That's the word.
And
yeah.
we're also like really funny looking for the most part.
Crazy looking. Yeah.
Crazy looking.
Yeah.
Like just all my friends that are comedians are like we are walking caricatures.
Right.
I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
It's adorable though. And the funny thing is you are the nicest, most humble guy I've ever met.
Thank you.
But if I was to meet you in a group, I would like keep my eyes to the floor.
Oh, you
I'd
would
be
look-
like, ooh,
oh, yeah.
look at him with the leather jacket.
Right,
and
right.
like, this guy's gonna like knock my teeth in if I look at you funny. But meanwhile, I know you as being so charitable and resourceful, taking care of your family. You have your dad with you all the time. You know, your
Yeah.
wife's wonderful. You have kids that are now grown up and beautiful. And this tough guy over here, you'd be afraid of if you saw him at the Whole Foods trying to drink beet juice.
Right. Well, I'm looking at the label on the juices now to see how much sugar's in it.
Oh.
And one of the guys who works at Whole Foods comes over and goes, "Hey, buddy, you got any weed?"
You're like, no, do you have any wheat? Actually, I'm here for Whole Foods.
Right. Do you have any less sugar or juice?
Yeah, and like this juice is out of control. But I mean, fructose, you got to be careful.
Yes, high fructose corn syrup.
High fructose corn syrup will get you every time, plus the natural fruit juices.
Right.
But juicing aside, do you have anything coming up that you wanted to promote? I know WGBB is all the time, every week.
Every Monday.
Every
so
Monday.
What's coming up for me right now is the month of June, which is I'm DJing just about 3 or 4 nights a week plus weekends.
Wow.
It's all good. No,
Is that like wedding stuff?
no, it's like it's school parties, end of the year parties for schools.
Nice.
It's kids parties, school kids parties. End of the year.
What's
So
the song
adults-
right now that like gets the kids going? Because I'm so out of the loop.
Probably what's that one? I don't even know. The name
I would
of it.
think Cha Cha Slide. That's how.
Oh,
out of
well,
the
you could do
loop I am.
Cotton Eye Joe, Cha Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle.
We're still cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you feel it out. If they don't dance, then you shut it off. But those all the wobble. You know the wobble. Wobble baby, wobble baby.
I don't know the dance. I do my own dance to it because it seems confusing.
And Low. You know the song Low. Low. Apple bottom jeans.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course, of course. Boots with the fur.
Fireball. They do a conga line to Fireball.
So nothing really like it seems. I was hoping there was like a new song. I know.
There's always new songs. I don't. I might not know the names, but I have them. They're all on my playlist and stuff. But
Me and Claire tried to learn the Get Up Boogie,
that's a new one. Yeah.
and we went to her house. We like watched a bunch of YouTube videos. We tried it out. She's a dancer professionally, so she of course got it down. I no longer have coordination.
Oh, really?
Any coordination I used
You
to
can't
have.
dance?
I used to be in musical theater.
Oh wow.
And I used to have coordination. It is, I don't know what I did, but it is
Wow.
gone. Like just I'm not a coordinated person like I used to be. We really failed at a block party. It was miserable. We were drunk, but we like started off so strong and we got steam.
Right.
And then I think we got too confident and a little cocky and it was over.
That's funny.
It was over. People have pictures. I fell over her. But yeah, I used to be coordinated and not anymore. And that's why I'm curious what the new songs are because I'd like to know a
country.
couple steps.
Country's big now.
Right?
Right. Dude, country's really big.
I'm not a country girl.
No.
No.
Really?
No. I mean old country, like Skinner I'm into.
Right.
I don't know if Arlo Guthrie would be country. That's more folk, right?
No, it's more folk.
more folk.
Or folk music.
Charlie Daniels.
I mean, that's country, but it's 70s country.
Alabama. Yeah, like that's the newer country stuff. I every time you put it on, I just hear like, I miss my tractor and my wife left me. Like
Yeah.
that's all I ever hear.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, but I've seen line
But there's a lot of
dancing.
great songs out there. I mean, Morgan Wallen's got a lot of great music. Luke Bryan. and
Beyonce.
Beyonce's got a country album out
Yeah,
now.
apparently she's won an award for a country album.
Right. Everybody's going country because I think even Jelly Roll,
Malone.
right? Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll. I mean, Post Malone originally was country.
Right.
And now he's back to country because
They go where the money is.
they go where the money is,
Right.
man. What's your favorite country song?
For DJing, I think Country Girl Shake It for me. You know,
Okay, all right. And what about when you're chilling, drinking
I like
beer?
Chicken Fried and Wagon Wheel. You know, I even like John Denver's Country Roads,
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a classic. Take me home.
Country Road.
I mean, you put that on, and I feel like
Takes you
I'm gonna
back.
hoe down.
Takes you back.
You're driving through hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Denver is definitely the man. I actually, when I was younger, my dad, the reason why I like this music, he used to play all this type of music for me. We used to have an 8-track.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. So he had an 8-track in his work van, and we would listen to the 70s music. But
wow.
I'm not a big fan of the new country. I wish I was.
It's good. I mean, you know, I got to tell you, I have 2 daughters that love country,
Oh, good.
and for me, I'd rather hear country blasted in my house than some of today's music that's got that lyrics about. I don't have to tell you what the lyrics
Oh
are.
yeah. Well, my
It sounds better hearing about trucks than
yeah,
the alternative.
My as I said, my waxer Gabby is her name. She has a niece who's the same age as my daughter, and they're both autistic.
Okay.
Very different kids though, but to get them together, they're like thieves. And both of them are selectively verbal.
Right.
But she'll come into my car, Mia, and we'll put her in the car seat, and she'll be singing "Wheels on the Bus," and I'm like, great, I'll put it on Spotify for her. She starts screaming, and then Gabby asks her, "What do you want to hear?" And she's like, "Kevin Gates."
Kevin Gates.
And I didn't know who Kevin Gates was.
Right.
So Gabby puts Kevin Gates on, and it's just like N-bomb after N-bomb. And
Yeah.
she's singing in the back. She's like 5, 6 years old.
Right.
And I was like, oh my goodness, like this kid's got some eclectic taste already. Kevin Gates.
I'll take country any day over some of the lyrics that are out there.
I'm a big hip hop fan. I like a lot of
I,
punk.
I love all the music. I just don't know why the lyrics got to be going down that whole like.
Some of them, like that newer stuff they had with the mumble rappers, was really disappointing. Where they would just say things for like shock value,
Right.
And
Shock,
it was like
shock songs.
once you start, like, I'm not shocked unless I really like a lot of songs that tell stories, especially for hip hop. Like, you have Common has Testify, which is like a really dope song. A lot of people are storytellers, and I think that the best songs for me, and that's why I like Dave Jamott's music too,
Oh, it's great.
because it tells you a story.
It's great.
I like when people spin me a little yarn, you know. So that's my favorite. So as far as you're a big metalhead,
Right.
let's say you can go back in time, go forward in time, any place in time. What
Okay.
band do you want to see live that would just make you lose it?
Oh boy, I've seen pretty much all the bands. There's one I really disappointed. I didn't see Chris Cornell. He went and did Temple of the Dogs, which you probably wouldn't know.
I have no idea who that is.
Chris Cornell was from Soundgarden. He was a singer from
Is
Soundgarden.
he bald now?
No, he passed
now?
away. That's why
He's dead
I'm
now.
kind of upset that I didn't see him.
I'm sorry.
But he went and did a tour, Temple of the Dogs, and he was at Madison Square Garden. I couldn't get there that night. I'm like, oh, next year I'm definitely going. And he wound up passing away. So from those moments, I realized, get out there and see him now.
Do it.
I saw Jimmy Buffett twice before he passed away.
How and outside of the Buffett concerts, I heard are like where
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Tailgating, sitting outside. Yeah. Parrot Heads.
That's my dad tried a margarita because of it.
Oh, really?
It was at a really bad venue though on Fire
Right.
Island. He's like, "This is what you guys drink? That's disgusting." And I'm like, "This is like pre-frozen margarita. Don't get crazy." So I actually saw Prince before he passed away
Oh, you did?
at Nassau Coliseum.
He's awesome.
I was a young girl. I was probably like 16, 17, and he did a tour, and it was amazing.
Right.
It was
He's great.
absolutely amazing. And I cut the shirt because I used to wear everything off shoulder when I was
Right.
younger. And it's like the Prince touring shirt. And I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't cut it. And I had like, because I wouldn't wear it now because it's like, I'm a mom now.
Oh,
If I was going out with my girlfriends, maybe I'd put it on. But
right.
as a mom, I can't be like showing up. Why not? I think if I've learned anything from Joey Petroni is be who you are.
Be who you are.
Don't let people judge you, right?
That doesn't matter. I mean, people talk about you, whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't, they talk about you no matter what. Who cares?
I hope someone talks about me.
I had I can't tell this. There's stories I can't tell because women from work might be watching, but there's some funny stuff that
There's
happens.
nobody watching this right now.
I watch it all day. I watch people tear each other apart and then they go out to the food truck together. I'm like, a half hour ago, she was ripping you apart to someone and now you're walking up to get food at the food truck. I just know that people who talk no matter what.
That's
and,
true.
That's the way it is. And it doesn't matter because I don't know if you care what people think about you.
No.
I really don't care. I mean,
It depends though, because like if it was someone like you
right.
or like someone else in the business that I really look up to, like Tony Walker or Don
Mhm.
Sill, and they were like, John's a fucking bitch, I'd be like, true. Well,
Yeah.
why do you think that? Like,
But
what
those
is it?
guys you'd know wouldn't talk about you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, probably.
they're not like that.
No,
But
they're not. They're
you
really.
you could tell right away who's who, and people who talk about you. It's supposed to be a good thing.
Well, you know, it was actually really cool. And it's a testament again to, like I said, the legacy of people. And you've been in the business for so long. I actually asked Don to help me with those photos. Look, I didn't even ask him for photos. I said, Don, I'm having Joey Petroni on the show.
Right.
Just a mere mention. And he was like, that guy rocks. And then he just sends those 2 photos. He's
Yeah.
like, this is from when he was with me on the Double D show
Right.
on, I think it was WUSB radio or something. And I didn't even ask for that. He was just happy to give it up because, I was going to showcase you.
Right.
And I was like, this is amazing. It's a very amazing community. And there's so many people that are so bright like yourself.
I wish the best for everybody. When I'm at a comedy club and I see 20 comics going up, I wish for each one of them to kick ass. That's just how I am.
When I see 20 comics going
Or
up,
whatever, 10 comics, whatever it is.
I order 3 beers. I'm like, I'm not waiting.
But
I'm not
I
waiting.
pull for everybody that
yeah.
goes up there, and I give every one of them credit. And I see the comedy in each one of them, even though nobody's laughing sometimes, and everybody's like, "This guy sucks." I can see what he's doing,
Yeah. Like you can follow it.
I
You're
can
like,
follow
all
it.
right, okay.
and I get it. So anyway, that's me.
Well, I think inherently people like us, and I'm grouping myself in with you now, which feels kind of surreal. But people like us do want our friends to succeed.
Yeah, there's nobody. Why not?
Why not?
Chris Roach got on to Kevin Can Wait, right? And I was like, it was almost like I was on Kevin Can Wait because I was so happy for the guy. I know him for 20 something years, and he made it. He's on a sitcom. I'm completely happy as hell for him, for Chris, and so that's what I look for. I want people to succeed because we're all in it together. We're all having fun together. And if someone, it's like we all buy scratch off lottery tickets.
Mhm.
Okay. It's fun. Hey, he won.
And he won.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's what it's like. You're not gonna be happy for him because who cares? You won. Great. Maybe one day you'll get a scratch off and you'll win.
So what would you define as, because you've done so much in your life, you've done the reality shows, you have a successful family, you've done dad, you've
Mhm.
done reality shows, you're doing radio, you're on Comic Sans, you're going to be on TV. In my opinion, I think Comic Sans is going to take off. Everybody
yeah.
knows how I feel about it.
Yeah.
What is success to you? Like what would be, I might scratch off hit.
Success is just being happy at the end of every day. That's success. And this might sound bizarre, but be your biggest. You should be your own fan. You should be your biggest fan. Like when I got on to Worst Cooks in America, I went through the whole process and everything like that. My wife's like, they're not going to call you. They're going all over the country. They're not going to call. When they called me, it was cool. But the long story short, when I was on the show, when I was standing there and Amber Elle and Bobby Flay came out for the first time, I was the only one that knew. I was the only one. I impressed myself.
You like
it's
were
a weird,
geeking out.
Look, I did it though. It's
Yeah.
like, the joke's on me. Like, in other words, nobody else gives a shit. Nobody cares. I got myself to stand in front of them. And I just thought that was so cool. That my bizarreness and my
Your persona.
whatever it
your-
is. It's just
you
that.
did it.
Yeah. And I was proud of myself. Like my mom was like, what are you doing that for? Your dad's like, what are you doing that? Are they paying you? All that kind of crap. And then, but you did it. You had a goal and you did it.
I think that's amazingly commendable because
I don't talk about it because nobody gives a shit.
no, I think more people should talk about it.
No,
though,
nobody cares.
because I am my worst critic.
Right.
I beat myself up to the point of like I upset myself. Like
Right.
I'm left alone with my own thoughts enough. I will pick and nitpick and go down a rabbit hole that's terrible. But I definitely don't I will give everyone else the credit. I definitely don't like to give myself credit, and I think that's something I should work on.
Well, you got to be your biggest fan. Like if I'm DJing a party and I'm doing everything I always do and nobody's dancing, this guy sucks, he sucks, they suck. It doesn't matter. You're doing your best, and you know that you're doing your best.
Plus, Joey Petroni's in the house. Like, what you mean I suck?
No, I'm saying maybe one every 2 years or something like that. People don't dance. They don't dance, but they start blaming it. You go on stage and do comedy one night, and the whole place cracks up. You go the next night, and nobody's laughing. You know your jokes are funny.
Do you
I
want?
don't want to blame the audience, but you just know that it's just the
So I'm gonna do what you say. Be my biggest fan.
yeah.
And
And
I'm knocking on wood.
Be confident.
I've never flopped.
Nice.
Never.
Oh no. Oh
No.
man, I went through hell.
Never flopped.
You never went through the.
But again, let's define success. I have at least 5 people in the audience that I know.
Okay.
So I've already
You never
primed.
bomb. That's the word. You never bomb.
I never bombed.
Wow.
I have people that I know in the audience, and also it's about transitions, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
I have jokes that are canned, but my transitions are based on the audience.
Okay.
So if I see, there's a common thread in the audience or a common age in the audience, I'll pull that out to transition to my next joke.
Okay.
You
There you
know?
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that way they're with me.
Right.
They're in it with me, and they have to think it's funny
Right.
because they're part of it. So
That works. Yeah. That's a good
I'm a
thing.
clown. That's what they're paying me to do.
Right.
Is to be a clown.
That's
so.
a good. You include them in your
Yeah.
stage time.
Well, I hear a lot of people up on stage and they're like, "Oh, I've already been paid. Like, you guys can do whatever you want to
Right.
the audience." And it's
Right.
like, "That's it. You're over, dude.
Right.
Like, you're not recovering from it. Get off the stage."
So you
at
never
that
had the
point."
experience of bombing, because bombing was actually sounds ridiculous, but bombing was fun.
Well,
Back when I started, it was fun. It
what
was
would
kind
you do? Like when you saw it going down and you saw the plane
man.
going down. Now what? Like, now what do we do?
That's when you find out your strength, I guess, because you go through it. You go through it, and it's.
Maybe I've never bombed, but maybe I've hit rocky water. Like,
I
and, like,
did
popped up.
I did ventriloquism for a while,
I hate ventriloquists.
and it was a Chinese auction, and we did stand up comedy at the Chinese auction, and then at the end of the auction, they needed more time to count the tickets or something, and they were like, "We need more time."
You got to stretch.
Right, to stretch it. But everybody at this function wanted to go home. It was a work night. It was like after 10 now. It was supposed to be over at 10.
Ooh.
And they needed another like 10 to 15 minutes. So everybody in there had their jackets on.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for the
They're like,
bet.
"Please hurry up with the
It
puppet."
was like a 50-50, whatever it was. Everybody had their jackets on. Everybody was wanting to get the hell out of there. And they're like, "Joey, can you just kill some time?" So I grabbed the puppet, went back up with the puppet,
What was the puppet's name?
Roger.
I hate it.
And to this
And
day,
you can throw your voice, or would you just be like,
no, I could, but Mike Dillon, Chris Williamson, Tommy Dorn, they were all in the audience. They said that was the worst they've ever seen somebody on stage, because they wanted to kill me. It wasn't like they weren't laughing; they wanted to go home.
yeah, they were like,
They-
"Put the
they-
dummy down, dummy," and get out.
If they could, they would have destroyed the dummy. That was my worst time bombing. Was when I had to kill 15 minutes for a group of 300 people that wanted to get the hell out of there.
I got to be honest. Have you ever done well with Roger,
Yeah,
the dummy?
Yeah.
You have?
Oh yeah,
I do not like ventriloquy because I don't like to be tricked.
I was on TV with Roger.
Were you?
Yeah, I was on national TV with Roger.
Why?
I was. I had.
I really don't like dummies, but it sounds like you had a.
I performed on what was it, Channel 9 maybe or something. Just had him part of my act.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you would do comedy and then pick Roger up?
I picked him up, and yeah,
What kind of dummy was he?
he's not dead yet.
No,
he's in a suitcase in my bedroom.
Don't threaten me with puppetry. I can't handle
You don't like?
it.
I should have bought him.
I do not like puppets.
Really?
I don't like being tricked.
If I had a puppet here, what would happen?
I wouldn't freak out. Like, I
Okay.
wouldn't be like, oh, I would just be like, if you want to do a puppet thing, that's
Right.
fine. But it wouldn't wow me.
Okay,
I don't like being tricked, like, just period.
all right.
And, puppet, like, I don't know. I read a book on puppetry once, and then I was like,
I'll tell you about being a ventriloquist. It's when you practice by yourself. It's not that you find it's not uncomfortable. It's weird because all of a sudden you feel like there really is someone with you, and it's kind of eerie. It's almost like when you feel like there's a ghost in your house.
yeah.
So can you imagine being home?
I'm a paranormal investigator, so, like,
Oh,
I
so-
do not like that.
So sometimes you're practicing with your puppet in the mirror, and all of a sudden you feel like
I'm so good at
I
it.
don't remember thinking that. How do you say that? Like kind of like it's bizarre, because you're trying to go like you want to improv with your puppet.
Yeah. So it's
Back
like
and forth,
it's like
back and forth.
BPD.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you realize you're home alone. You're looking in the mirror with a puppet, and he's saying things off the top of my head, obviously. But it's like
It's a whole different person.
when it starts to click, it's kind of like ghosty, I guess.
It's creepy.
It's
That's why
creepy.
I'm saying dummies are creepy.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
not
"Okay."
always. Not when you're on stage, with the audience, but
So
when
before
you're-
I
when you're
sign off
alone.
with you, and we creep the entire audience
Right.
out, I did want to mention real quick, in June, there will be a Pride Gala. We still have a couple tickets left for it. It is to benefit Pride for Youth. Image One. Yep. So it is to benefit Pride for Youth. If you guys want to come party with me. Tawny, who's been on the show before, and she'll be back on the show, will be there. As we know, June is Pride Month, so please get your tickets. Open bar. There was amazing raffles there. You can win a weekend to Fire Island, and there's also some great honorees that they're going to have. So check that out, guys. And yeah, we could pull that down. And I just really want to thank Joey. Thank you so much for being on my show. I want to give you a big hug.
Thank you. As we bang
slam
headphones.
headphones because you guys don't understand how lucky I am to have a legacy like Joey on and that he agreed to do this. So please
Anytime.
check him out. Where can they check you out? WGBB on Monday.
Monday nights, 7 to 7:30.
Where can we check you out on Govs Radio?
Gov's Radio Podcast is Tuesday nights. That schedule fluctuates. So like right now, I don't really have anything scheduled. So when I start getting it scheduled, just go to Joey Petroni on Facebook and you'll see me posting the shows.
And if you're lucky enough, you might be able to book him in the summer or for any event for his DJing skills.
Karaoke also.
Oh, Lord. We didn't even get into karaoke. We have a whole nother show we could do. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Long Island Hustle and our main hustler, Joey Petroni.
Thank
Have a
you
great
so
night,
much.
everybody.
Thank you, Jen. High five.
Boom.